22 in the off-color jersey, Eric Shoji. There are the starting 7 for the United States. The Americans were 9-3 in the Intercontinental round and had the best record among all of the teams in Group 1. Now for the introduction, the starting lineups for the #1 ranked team in the world from Brazil. There is John Spera, head coach for the United States in his 2nd season. Murillo coming out along with Lucarelli. There is Mario, the libero. Bernardo Rezende, a quick look as their head coach. Lucas Satkamp, big middle blocker. Wallace will be the opposite. Bruno, the captain and the setter. Brazil was in the finals last year. They succumbed to Russia 3-1. Bruno, Wallace, Sedao, Lucarelli, Murillo, Lucas, and Mario. And there is one of the most successful coaches, certainly a Hall of Famer, Bernardo Rezende, in his 14th season. I gave you the resume of all of those wins, the World Championships, the World Cups, all of the World League except for one. So 8 World League titles under his leadership, all of those coming under the guidance of Bernardinho. We're ready to go. Brazil in their bright yellow uniforms, and the United States in red, white, and blue, primarily the red tops. And it looks like number 2, Sean Rooney, a gold medalist from 2008. One of the players that beat Brazil for that championship will go back to serve. Now 31 years of age, really has been playing well. The 5th ranked receiver in the tournament at 2 meters 2 centimeters. Set to go. Shoji scrambling for that. Anderson with his first swing and misses it over the top of the block and out of bounds. We'll keep very close tabs on the hitting percentage of Matt Anderson. He needs to have a big match. He plays the opposite, meaning that he is the player who gets most of the sets in transition. It's a very important position. Right back to Anderson, and he crushes that ball down the line outside of Murillo. So a nice bounce back, and I really like the decision for the young setter Micah Christensen. Again, he's still a college student. This is his first major top-level competition, along with Taylor Sander, and going right back to Matt Anderson, knowing how important Anderson is to the course of this match for the United States. Max Holt, top server in the tournament so far with 10 aces. That ball's off of Max Holt, off his leg, into the floor, and then back over the net. Easy kill for Murillo. Very good delivery by Bruno with nobody up after Lucas took care of all the American blockers. Taylor Sander unloading off the left side. Listen to the numbers that Taylor Sander has put up the last 2 matches. In the semifinal, he was 16 of 20 against Iran. Against Australia in the last group match, he was 19 of 28. So in the last 2 matches, he's 35 of 48. That's pretty superhuman. Just 22 years of age, and also, like Christensen, playing in his first big tournament. Momentum swing here early and blocked straight down. Wallace on Taylor Sander. Outstanding play. Both teams well organized, well coached. They know how to scramble when they're out of system. Straight down block by Wallace. Best 3 out of 5 sets. First 4 sets to 25 points. Must win by 2. Perfect pass by Rooney, and that ball, Lee, out of the middle. Soft touch there. These are the kind of balls that Anderson has to put away, high up into a 2-man block. Good shot by Wallace. Off speed, just trying to restart the point, and then he got very lucky up into the hands, and it was an absolute sitter then for Sedao. Perfect shot by Wallace. Really smart. Change of pace. Good repertoire. Wallace De Sousa, now 27 years of age, 1 meter 98 centimeters, was in the finals last year against Russia as the starter. Taylor Sander, beautiful swing outside the block. So records his second kill, but he's also been stuffed once. Anderson getting a lot of early action. Hit 1 ball out of bounds, 3 balls that have been kept in play, and 1 ball for a kill to the floor. So by my count so far, Anderson just 1 of 5. And everybody, including Brazil, will be keying on him. Taylor Sander out of Huntington Beach in Southern California. He just concluded his collegiate eligibility. Volleyball is a big sport in college, particularly on the women's side, but also on the men's. And he was last year's collegiate most outstanding player at Brigham Young University. Here comes Wallace. A variety of serves. That one was pretty tough. Good save that time by Micah Christensen. What a play by number 11. Beautiful set by the American setter, saving what looked to be a play that was really in trouble. And Rooney into Sadao, and enough velocity on that play to get it over the end line to finish the point. Here's David Lee, already with 4 aces in the tournament. Wallace, rocket swing off the block and out of bounds. You know, you always focus on the hitting and on the attacking, but this match is going to be won serving and receiving. That's where it will be decided, and I'll give you the reason why in just a moment. I mean, that's the basics of volleyball. Who can be in system the most? They get a huge advantage offensively. Beautiful dig by Lucarelli, saved by Bruno, and then out to Wallace. So Micah Christensen for the United States with a brilliant set earlier, and now Bruno returning the favor. That a field goal shoot through Sean Rooney's hands. Lucarelli unloading right now. Brazil pretty much owning the serve receive, but it's very early. Anderson needed that. Now we have a moment. Brazil is the #1 ranked receiving team in the tournament. 71% perfect passes. So that means 7 out of 10 times they're at the net. They have control of the play. They have a big advantage in the play. The United States is 4th in receiving at 48%. That's a huge discrepancy, and the United States, if they're going to have a chance against Brazil, has got to find a way to up that number a little bit. Good serve by Anderson. Pipe combination. Beautiful play that time. Good read by Taylor Sander, coming quickly out of the back row. Bernardino told me before the match that they were going to really try to key on Sander because they think that he is a big weapon for the United States. I guess that's not exactly a revelation, but he's really been on a roll since a bad opening match against Italy. Brazil leading 7-6. Technical timeouts will come at 8 and 16. Murillo, beautiful shot off the top of the block. No question about the touch. Murillo is so good and still not at 100% with his arm, still coming back from shoulder surgery. And we have our first technical timeout, opening set, with Brazil on top of the United States by a score of 8-6. You're watching the gold medal game of the 25th World League Finals here in Florence.
Like just sitting right now 116. You take it just like a little bit. It's a great shot. We're going to commit in row 6 the next time they get it again. Hey, way to know that tendency we got up. Hey, this team's a good blocking team. We know that, so make sure we're covering the hitters really well. Hips back, ready to go on every single contact, okay? All right, here we go. Yeah, boys. 1, 2, 3, USA. Nice shot. There you go.
Two teams that are very good in all phases of the game: serving, receiving, attacking, defense, blocking. And you know, there might be a lot of people watching that when I say perfect pass, they're not really quite sure what I mean. What I mean is the ball passed to the right third of the court or into the middle of the court, and about 4 or a meter or a little bit more off the net. Then that's a perfect pass. The offense is in control and the setter has all of the options. The last couple of passes, let's see where this one goes. That's not considered a perfect pass because it's out near the 3-meter line. That ball off the top of the tape and out of bounds. The United States looking for a touch. None was detected. And remember that touches off the block are not something that are challengeable right now. It is foot faults, balls in and out, 3-meter line, and net touches at the top of the tape. Anderson ripping that ball off the top of the block. That was a brilliant swing by Matt Anderson. Now 27 years of age, has played the last couple of seasons professionally in Russia. Prior to that, he came out of university in the United States a year early from Penn State University and went to play originally in Korea and then here in Italy and then on to Russia. Well known to fans all over the world. Murillo stuffed one-on-one. What a block by Micah Christensen. Brazil still leading 9-8, but that's a big play by number 11 in red. What a nice move jumping into the cross court. Christensen's a pretty good size setter at 1.98 m. That's 6'6", if you will, in that system. Right back to Murillo. 3 blockers up, and that ball hit out of bounds by Taylor Sander, just missing the top of the block. So far, the United States has not been an efficient team in transition. Trying to find the top of the block, and Taylor Sander a little bit too high in the trajectory. That's a perfect pass. Good dig by Mario. What a great stab. Both teams hot defensively so far. And Christensen throwing that ball to the floor. Micah Christensen, for just a 21-year-old, talk about having a bright future and already making some very good decisions. And Murillo, he's been around for a long time, but he fell asleep, number 8 in yellow, on that particular play. That's his cover. Another absolutely perfect pass. If Brazil passes like this, wow, just ask Russia. Although Iran found a way to beat Brazil and eliminate Russia from the Final Four of this tournament. For Brazil, they beat Russia 3-1, lost to Iran 3-1, and then beat Italy last night convincingly in the semifinals. Great set that time. Micah Christensen is setting a superb match so far, and he's got Matt Anderson going, and that's really important for the United States. And he has had some difficult chances, some balls very close to the net, and he's taking a difficult chance and then delivering it in an ideal position for the American hitters so far. Lucarelli pretty tight to the net. Transition opportunity. The United States has not been good here, and they're still not. That is probably 4 transition opportunities, and the United States has yet to score. Taylor Sander has had a couple, and now Sean Rooney. That set might have been a little bit low, and if it is low, tip it into the block, restart the point. You got to make quick decisions. That's a play into the block to restart. Right side. Oh, excellent block. What a block by Matt Anderson. First Christensen one-on-one. And now Anderson got Wallace all by himself. Bruno with the ideal set. And Anderson just throwing his hands up into the line, and Wallace accommodating, hit the ball right into him. United States with a lot of support from this crowd. Quick set to Lucarelli. Stab there, but that is going to be out of bounds off of Taylor Sander. That's what good passing form looks like. Murillo, the most valuable player at the World Championships in 2010 when Brazil were the champions right here at the finals in Rome. Also the World League most valuable player that same year. Anderson under that ball a little bit. Good dig by Wallace. Anderson high up off the block, kept in play, but that will be outside the antenna. And Matt Anderson getting an awful lot of swing so far in this match, and for the most part certainly coming through. A little bit of a slow start there. You see the ball clearly outside the antenna. Brazil's a better serving team than the United States. They just bring more heat and have more variety. So the Americans somehow have to raise their level in terms of receiving. And as I mentioned, they are last right now among the 4 remaining teams in terms of serve reception. Transition swing still not there. That's number 5 in terms of transition for the United States. And by my count, they're 0 for 5. Good hustle by Christensen, but right back to the waiting Sadao, number 5 in yellow, the middle blocker. Serve, receive. That was the story of the game in the 1950s, and however many years that is later, I'm not a math whiz. Let's say 75 years later or thereabouts, serving and receive is still the story of the game. The United States trailed 8-6 at the opening technical timeout. There is the team from Iran. They had an outstanding summer. We're in a very, very difficult group with Italy, Poland, and Brazil, and they beat each of those teams twice to advance into the finals, where they finished 4th here, losing in the semis to Italy. Losing to Italy for the bronze medal. Max Holt, that's another transition opportunity. 0 for 6. Well, there's the trend so far. Brazil is passing better, and also in their transition defense, in other words, blocking against high balls from the United States, they have done a much better job in that particular area. A lot of block touches. Good play by Rooney to restart the point. Set left inside. Anderson with a smart decision. Wallace down the line and out of bounds. See what I mean? That was not a good set that time by Micah Christensen of the United States. He left it way inside to Matt Anderson. But rather than take an overly aggressive swing, Anderson makes a good decision, keeps the ball in play. Make your opponent beat you. Make him touch the ball 3 times or twice or whatever it may be. And Wallace hits the ball out of bounds. Another perfect pass, and a Lucarelli off the late blocker. And we've come to the technical timeout. Brazil led 8-6 at the first technical timeout, and at the second TTO. It is Brazil in the gold medal game, opening set, leading 16-14.
Ei, lembrar de não errar a bola difícil, que os caras estão errando lá também, não estão conseguindo rodar. Vamos lá. Eu comecei a chegar, só que ela passou bem por cima mesmo, bem no dedão. E ele tá dando fora, ele tá dando na quadra não. Dando um resto pra pegar. Tem que abaixar um pouco.
Capacity crowd here at the Nelson Mandela Forum, and yes, it is a little bit caliente, if you will, caldo, here in Italy. It has been in the 40s during the day. Today it cooled off significantly into the mid-30s in terms of Celsius, but very humid, but pretty comfortable right now. It's cooled off and quite comfortable. Good playing conditions. One of the rare middle sets. Max Holt, number 17 in the red jersey, putting that ball away. The United States trailing by 1. Two stories. Brazil, outstanding passing, and the United States 0 for 6 on transition swings. And the ball still not down. Murillo will save that. Maybe not a good free ball pass. Out to Taylor Sander again, and that's going to be a touch called against Brazil on Murillo. No complaint there, and the United States has tied it up at 16 apiece. But the Americans still not efficient in transition. Not a good free ball pass, and that was a little bit of a lucky swing right off the top of Murillo. Tied at 16. Holt, the best server so far in the tournament, looking for his 11th ace. What a great pass. A perfect pass. Wallace ripping the ball through the bottom of Micah Christensen. Wallace has got a rocket arm. Hits the ball so hard, so fast, and he hits a heavy ball. Boy, that one just split the arms of Micah Christensen. I think you got to go a little early on Wallace and make sure that you're over, because if you're still piking when he gets the ball on you, he's going to beat the block. Crushed cross court that time by Taylor Sander. He's developed a big fan following here in his first big international tournament in Italy, the country that is going to be his new professional home. He has signed a contract to play for Verona, one of the most beautiful cities, like Florence. Absolutely great city. That ball crushed. What a good play that time. The libero Mario is lights out. So far, he's got to be the libero of the finals. If he doesn't win that award, I will be very, very surprised. Not a well-formed block by the United States, but Brazil in system, thanks to the absolutely perfect pass by Mario. And that off of Murillo, a touch in the backcourt. And David Lee registers the kill. David Lee is not the kind of middle attacker that hits the ball straight down. He's kind of a scuffer and a cuffer. See this wrist away? He's looking for the deep part of the court, and Sadao was right there with him. Tied at 18. Lucarelli off the top of the block. Tell you, Matt Anderson needs to do a better job blocking, because Brazil's offense is so precise right now and being run so fast. Anderson is late on Lucarelli. That was, however, a magnificent shot. Brazil looks really good offensively right now. But the outside blockers for the United States have got to have a big match. Vizotto on along with Rafael. The double substitution. Vizotto in up front for Bruno. Rooney keeping that ball in play. Transition opportunity here. Lucarelli will take an off-speed swing. Bettering the ball. Combination play, and what a smart tip. Taylor Sander with a great read. And that was really good volleyball by both teams. Out of system. Don't force things. Keep the ball in play. Improve the ball. Get ahead in the point until you have better choices. 19-19. Another lights out pass. The United States cannot get Brazil out of system. The receivers, Lucarelli, Murillo, and Mario, are outstanding right now for Brazil. Just absolutely world class. Two things. They're good, and the United States has got to serve tougher. Maybe serve some short. They've got to try to change something, a little change of pace. And that ball is served out of bounds. But as well as Brazil is in system and first ball side out. If I'm Brazil, I don't worry about that because I try to get the United States off the net, because right now, when they're out of system, they're not doing as well. But you look up at the board and there they are at 20 all, because Matt Anderson has hit a lot of balls already with 5 kills, but only 38%. Hit a lot of balls against some big blocks. Perfect pass again. What great passing. Wonderful receiving by Brazil. I'll bet you Brazil right now is about 80% perfect pass. And coming into this final, they were at 71. Anderson down the line, almost kept alive by Lucarelli. I think that ball was a little bit deep, so that was a pretty good swing by Anderson, pulling this ball down. And outside of Murillo, Lucarelli is there, but Anderson with his 6th kill. And Kavika Shoji will come on and serve and play some defense in the place of Sean Rooney. A wet spot still being tended to. Got to do that. You got to take care of the wet spots. The players and the officials will be very diligent about that. Seen a lot of injuries by players slipping and falling into wet spots, and Kavika Shoji misses that jump serve. Head coach John Sparrod told me before the match that he knows Brazil is such a good receiving team. He might do some things, bringing in some serving specialists and whatnot. Sean Rooney, he's had some shoulder problems, so he doesn't serve as hard as he used to. And Kavika Shoji, one of the answers. Also, Paul Lottman could be an option for the United States as the double sub is unwound. Good first set for the gold medal, and don't forget the $1 million in prize money that goes along with it. Second place team wins $500,000. Bruno with some superb defense. Watch at the end of this play if we have a look. Right there, Taylor Sander, excuse me, it's Micah Christensen fakes as if he's going to take a little swing at that ball, and the venerable veteran Murillo took a little bit of exception at that. 22 apiece. America's best server, Max Holt, at the line. And misses it out of bounds. Anderson again, right over the top of the block. And the player who had to have a big match for the United States, maybe not there yet in terms of percentage, but he is heating up a little bit. That's a great swing over the top of the block. Right over the top that time of Lucas, and Lucas as a middle blocker is 209, tied at 23. Wonderful play. Lucas going behind in the quick delivery given to him by Bruno, the captain and setter and the son of the head coach. Brazil's about the only team in the world that runs this back quick, and it really makes your life miserable. Set point now for Brazil. That ball might have been going out of bounds. Good pass. Taylor Sander crushing that ball cross court. The volleyball fans in Verona are going to love this kid. So one set point saved by the United States. Oh, straight down past Lucarelli. Really good pass again by Sean Rooney. Really good pass. There's the short serve. I thought the United States needed to change something. And that's a double contact called against Brazil. Wow. Timeout called by Brazil. Wow, that was a tight call. The Brazilians clearly mystified. And their head coach, Bernardino, really upset about that call. It was a tight call at 3-3. How about a tight call at 24 all? And look, the rules are the rules. I'm for a foul at 0-0, a foul at 24-24. But I'll tell you, I think that's a break for the United States. I didn't think that was bad. Now a set point for the Americans. Smart short serve by Taylor Sander. Kind of a repeat of the match that these two teams played in November at the Grand Champions Cup. All deuce sets. And the ball served out of bounds. Taylor Sander, I think, had a little bit of a brain cramp there. I think he changed his mind in terms of what he wanted to do. Short, hard cross court, somewhere in between, a meter out of bounds. Tied at 25. Anderson is stuffed straight down. And the United States will probably think about taking a timeout. This ball was set tight. And you just can't take that kind of critical swing. Brazil has been the best blocking team in the tournament so far. And if you're Matt Anderson, a big jumper at 2:02, you either have to get to that ball sooner or you tap that ball into the block and restart the point. Give Brazil credit. That was a wonderful block, but I think Anderson would like to have that one back. Timeout called by the United States. So Brazil will have their second set point. These two teams meeting once again in a big championship, and maybe they will again. Coming up in September will be the World Championships that will be played in Poland. The tournament starts actually on August 30th with a special match outdoors. 62,000 people expected. Oh, and Wallace missed it in the top of the net. That will be between Serbia and Poland, and then a couple of weeks later the tournament will really get underway in earnest, and the finals will be on the 21st of September in Katowice. Off the block and out of bounds. Wallace once again. Wallace's arm is so fast. If you're the American blockers, you got to get over earlier, and that's a hard adjustment to make. He just gets the ball on you so fast. Look at Max Holt flying around. Set point number 3. Max Holt finding an angle to put that ball away. Sadao was there. Max Holt is so explosive. 2 meters 5 centimeters, big jumper, experienced player now at 27 years of age. And even if Sadao is with him, Holt is good enough to find some angles, certainly. Brazil has had 3 set points. The United States 1. And Anderson serves the ball out of bounds again. I think Anderson needs to go the long way from right back into the right back of Brazil, into the deep cross court. Set point number 4. Anderson, there was a net violation there. And that ball off the block and out of bounds. The United States is going to challenge. And I think that they've got an argument here. We'll see if the net touch was at the top of the tape, because that's the only fault so far. Brazil is celebrating for the moment, but this is a good challenge for the United States. Crowd is waiting for the video proof. Really like the challenge system. Each team gets 2 challenges per set. You keep your 2 challenges if it is proven correct. And there it is. Good work by the American coaching staff. Look at that. Netted with his head. A net touch at the top of the net. Murillo saying there was no net touch, but the video proof, did that look like he was in contact with the net? They're going to check once again, I think. I don't think this is in the rules, but this is really important. This is really an important call. There it is right there. You can see it as plainly as can be. That's a net. That's a net violation. You can see the net move. That's a net violation on Brazil. It was close. There it is. You can see. As Murillo went to pike over the net, he contacted the top of the tape with his forehead. It was a net violation.
Because it was very clear touch of the net. Okay?
No question. Okay. It shows it on our net camera, and then it showed it even more conclusively on the video replay. So, a net violation. The call was correct. Stuff blocked by Max Holt. And now the United States will have their second set point. Would you expect any less? Timeout, Brazil.
Bruno! Bruno! Opa, Murilo, vamos,
Teams back out on the floor. Another epic battle between the United States and Brazil. Very well played, very entertaining. Some yelling and screaming. Good fun. Set point number 2 for the United States. And that off the top of the block. Bruno went right back to Lucas. And Max Holt was right there with him. What a battle. Lucas at 209, Max Holt at 205. Tied at 29. Bruno's dig up into the night. Out of bounds. The back quick has been a real weapon for Bruno and Lucas throughout the course of this tournament. And the United States just dodged a bullet. Third set point for the United States. Brazil has had 4. Easy serve. Oh, stuffed straight down. What an opening set here in Florence. Brazil had 4 set points. The United States on their third, and the 2 middle blockers, David Lee and Max Holt, shut the door. First against Lucas, and this against Lucarelli. The United States wins the opening set 31-29. This is the 25th World League Finals coming your way from Florence. Well, what an opening set. You think we can keep this up and have some fun for a couple of hours? I certainly hope so. The United States wins it 31-29. The numbers very, very even indeed. There was some controversy. The Brazilians thought that there was no net violation, but our net camera showed it conclusively, as well as the video replay camera showed conclusively that Murillo, at the beginning of his blocking move, contacted the top of the net with his forehead, and that's the only place a foul can take place now. The net's contacts down below are not called as faults. So it was the right call. It got sorted out, and David Lee with a magnificent split block right at the end. Boy, at the end of the day, very interesting number here. At the end of the day, Brazil and the United States both 42% perfect passes. I thought Brazil's would have been much higher than that. Eric Shoji at 75%. Well, that's very interesting. Both at 42. I thought Brazil was going to be up around 65 or 70. Teams back out on the floor here at the Nelson Mandela Forum. Set number 2 of the World League Finals. The United States lost to Italy their opening match 3-0, then beat Australia, and then absolutely hammered Iran in the semifinals. Bruno will start off this second set serving for Brazil. Brazil ranked number 1, the United States currently at number 4. Max Holt again. Taylor Sander is doing an awful lot right now. He is serving. He's passing exceptionally well, and he's killing the ball. I'll give you the points leaders. That was a long set. Taylor Sander led the way with 8 points, along with Matt Anderson. For Brazil, a little more balance. Wallace with 5, Sadao with 5, and Lucarelli with 5. The crowd is taking a breath after that opening set. That had a lot going on. Good cover by Bruno. Lucarelli looking for the high hands, and no question a touch off the top of the block. That was off of number 3, Taylor Sander of the United States. Good swing by Lucarelli. Stuff block by Lucas this time on David Lee. Watch the path of the ball. David Lee goes wrist away, and Lucas is going to be jumping way to the inside. You see him push off his right foot and jump way to his left to get inside the path of the ball. Really good block there by Lucas. Brazil looking for a quick start. There's the back one again. Good touch at the block by Lee, and off the block and out of bounds. Taylor Sander on a roll here, spiking the ball. Sander was 8 of 12 in that opening set, 67%. Bernardinho wanted a double contact called on that set against Micah Christensen. Remember that call at 24 all against Bruno? That was big. Great save that time. Ball hit out of bounds. Bruno with a magnificent save off an errant pass that time by Murillo, and now tied at 3. good. An ace serve by Micah Christensen. You could see right away it wasn't spinning cleanly, which is sometimes the most difficult ball to handle. And when it went right into a seam that time, away from Mario, but yet not close enough to Murillo to take that serve. Brilliant serve by the young 21-year-old setter for the United States. Transition swing is stuffed once again. United States continues to really struggle in that particular area. I'm not on with data volley, so I can't see the transition swings by the United States. I'm getting the box score in between sets, and it just doesn't have that number. But I'll tell you what, for the United States, it's not good. But they're up 1-0. Oh, Taylor Sander is just crushing the ball. John Spera. I know he wants to smile on that play. I know he does. Taylor Sander can absolutely jump out of the gym. And jump well over a meter. I mean, a lot over a meter. What it is in inches for those of you listening in that particular system, officially at about 43, 44 inches is his vertical jump. Tied at 5. A foot fault called against Wallace. Oh, that was great. Bernardino doesn't necessarily get along with the officials too well. Hey, that's just part of a coach's life, but a foot fault called there, and it was correct. He gave the linesman a little 5, gave him a little dap. Wallace ripping through the block. Boy, he is so explosive. And great fans throughout the course of this tournament. A lot of Brazilian fans. There were a lot of Iranian supporters. They had a great final. They finished 4th. Congratulations to Italy for winning their 2nd straight bronze medal. Kind of an awkward looking play that time. Sean Rooney way under the ball, almost jumping backwards on that particular play. I think he was expecting something. Well, that was a pretty fast set and just not good contact. 3 points are at an absolute premium in a matchup like this. The United States, if you're just joining us, won the opening set 31-29. And that set had everything. Off the block and out of bounds. Good high swing up into the hands of Sidao and Murillo. Murillo, the much smaller of the 2 blockers, 1.90 as opposed to Sidao, who's 2.03. So pretty good trajectory that time by Anderson. Two contacts remaining. That ball blocked off of Taylor Sanders' head. Murillo then off the block and out of bounds. Very nice playing by Brazil, and we'll get to the technical timeout. Brazil will go to the sideline, as will the United States. Brazil leading 8-7 here in the 2nd set of the World League Finals.
Great shot. Maddie, nice up on that. Hey, if you could cover it more to the center of that court, that'd be a little better. It worked. Outworked them. We got one more. Great job. Real fast on that side. We're going to try to keep him going on it. You want to get you with it? Yeah. So when he cuts off and goes back on, when you tip to him, though, you go ahead and take it because they're going to go outside or set back. All right, there we go. 1, 2, 3.
Partiamo di nuovo, doppiato compreso. Al mio 3, 1, 2, 3, via! forza, 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 forza. Tutto in giro, tutto in giro. Mamma mia.
Zidane and Brazil back out on the floor taking on the United States. What a preview to the World Championships coming up in September. Both of these teams will be very much in the mix. Anderson well off the net and able to put that ball away. That was a very difficult swing because that set should be inside the 3-meter line. Anderson's a big jumper, 6'10" if you go feet and inches, 2 meters 2 centimeters, and able to put that ball away. Difficult swing. Short serve and the two-handed throwdown that time by Max Holt. Mentioned in the early stages of the opening set that John Spera and the United States need to show some more variety in their service game. They were hitting jump serves and Brazil was just gobbling that up. No trouble whatsoever. So a good change here by Rooney. Borelli right to Rooney, but that didn't have a lot of topspin on it. Tough ball to dig. Back row quick combination. So that was not a good serve. It was right to Murillo. You got to serve in seams. You've got to get the ball outside his body line. At least plant some seed of doubt. Even a player of Murillo's capabilities, you got to make him move a little right to left. Should be able to do that if you're jump floating. Bruno missed that serve out of bounds. And so the United States leading 10-9. The United States has beaten Brazil 7 straight times in the World League, although Brazil did win the last meeting at the Grand Champions Cup in November when Brazil won that title. That's a round-robin format, served out of bounds by Holt. He's not gotten his serving going for the United States, and that's a big factor. He's not serving well so far. Leads the tournament with 10 aces. Not out by much, but out is out. Anderson stuffed straight down. I'll tell you what, the United States is passing well enough to set the ball in the middle more. And the Brazilian block is going to be leaning towards Anderson because he gets the most sets. It's simple math. So Christensen has got to get his middles back involved. Anderson ripping that ball, and a touch is detected. And no argument whatsoever by Lucarelli or the Brazilians. A rocket over the top of the block. Watch the top of the fingers. Outside pinky that time of Lucarelli. But still back to the point. When the United States passes the ball well enough, I'd watch for Micah Christensen, who's back to serve now, already has an ace in this set, to go into the middle a lot more, particularly to Max Holt. Sender off the top of the block. One of the first transition swings that was successful for the United States, and given that, they're still up 1-0. They're getting a lot of transition swings because their blocking system has been very solid in that phase of the game, and that means their back row defense has been good. Exceptional dig that time by Sean Rooney. Lucas misses it out of bounds. No touch detected. And remember, touches and non-touches, for that matter, cannot be challenged. So the ball ruled out of bounds and a timeout called by Brazil. The United States leading 1-0 and 13-11 here in the second. Bernardinho has won everything. An Olympic gold medal, 3 world championships, 8 World League titles. What a battle so far this evening in Florence between the United States and Brazil. Christensen coming out of the timeout. Good serve, but another perfect pass. Oh, Wallace. That is one great jumper right over the top of another. Look at this. Taylor Sander can really get up, and Wallace went right over the top of him. A brilliant set that time by Bruno. Wallace is so unusual. Usually you want a ball set a meter off the net. Bruno told me that Wallace wants it 50-50 right on top. Ace serve. Somebody said something to me on the American coaching staff earlier this evening. You know, Dmitry Mazursky, 2 meters 19 centimeters, gets a lot of talk as being the best middle blocker in the world. I'll tell you what, Lucas gives him a run for his money. Overpass. Sidao. David Lee tried to keep the ball alive. I think it's a real close battle between Lucas Saatkamp and Dmitry Mazursky for being the best middle blocker in the world. Timeout, back-to-back points. Lucas serving. Timeout now taken by the United States. Each of Brazil and the Americans have 1 timeout remaining. This gold medal match played at a really high level so far. It's a knowledgeable audience in Italy. Their teams on both the men's and women's side. You look at the leading scores. Taylor Sander and Matt Anderson so far leading the way for the United States. But very knowledgeable crowd. Tremendous league here. And also a team on both the men's and the women's side on the national teams that have been very, very successful over the decades. Italy has won 3 world championships, a couple of Olympic silver medals, Olympic bronze medals, 8 World League titles. Wallace again, but sprays that ball out of bounds. That was a wild swing by number 4 in yellow. He goes for the knockout punch every time, and every once in a while you swing and miss. Bucarelli slicing off a really good angle. Double sub coming on now. Vizotto, Leandro Vizotto, 2 meters 12 centimeters, right about 7 feet tall. And Rafael coming in as well, number 20. He will come in and serve and set. Rafael is now 35 years of age. It's been tough for him to break into the lineup. You know, he's a little bit on the smaller side at 1 meter 90 at about 6'1". But he is known around the world, and particularly in Brazil, as an outstanding setter. So he's got a key role here as part of the double sub. Back row combination blocked by Sidao. Nobody fooled on that particular play. And we've come to the second technical timeout. Brazil led at the first TTO 8-7, and at the second they are on top of the United States 16-15.
Tipo assim, tô aberto pro olho. Tá fechado aí. A ideia é pegar daqui pra trás aí. Vocês dois estão aqui. Bola na paralela. Vamos arriscar. É fora da pressão agora. Não fora da pressão. Ei, nós saímos um pouco aberto. Ele vai sacar na paralela e depois vai fechar a quadra. Agora, 2 em paralela.
More than a little intensity in the building. coming in a couple of different forms, but you could hear all the communication between the Brazilian players, and I'm sure the same was going on the other side for the United States. Back out on the floor, Brazil leading 16-15. Brazil going for their 10th World League title. The United States, their second. And that was a lift called against Sean Rooney. That's a good call. You know, you're supposed to be able to do almost anything with the first contact, but even this was a little too much. I don't think they should allow receiving serve overhand. I think it's too big an advantage for the offense. I wish they'd get rid of that. Rooney is stuffed here. Ball is set too low for my liking. Rooney's 2 meters 2 centimeters, and that ball was up around. Well, let's just take a look. That's a matchup right now that Brazil is dominating. That ball never even crossed the tape. Yeah, got a piece of Vizotto. And a timeout called by the Americans, and Brazil now on a 3-0 run. And by my count, the United States is now out of timeouts. I'm telling you, the United States got to set the middle. I don't care if a blocker is up. I think Max Holt in particular, and David Lee with his experience, can certainly score with a blocker in front of him. It's dependent upon a good fat pass first and foremost, but the Americans, I think, been passing well enough to get the ball into the middle. Particularly here on this jump float. Brazil's going to have another chance. Good soft block. And Vizotto down the line. Brazil on fire right now as Vizotto gets his first kill. Where does the United States go here now for first ball side out? Taylor Sander out of the back row, quick combination, or into the middle. There's the play into the middle, but dug by Murillo. Not enough heat. And off the head this time. United States is out of timeouts. They can't stop it. I think John Speraw will bring on a substitute. He's got all his substitutions left. I don't know why Matt Anderson pulled his hands down, and neither does David Lee. And I thought so. Garrett Magatutia will come on for the first time, wearing number 18 in red. And if memory serves, he played just a couple of points against Italy, and that was on Wednesday, so has not been in a match since then. And if you're Brazil, you come right at him. Absolutely. Not a bad pass. Back row combination. Good job by Magatutia, coming right out of the bullpen, coming out and delivering a good enough pass. Big lead here for Brazil, 20-16. If you're just joining us, the United States and Brazil in an epic opening set. The United States won at 31-29. Right side to Lucarelli. David Lee doing a good job hanging in. And I tell you, Rafael is a really good setter. Perfect pass by Murillo. He still means, even though he doesn't have quite the attacking proficiency and strength that he used to now at 33 and coming off shoulder surgery, I tell you, Murillo is so important to this Brazilian team because he's such a good passer and defender. That's what I'm talking about. Max Holt is able to put that ball away, even if it's against two blockers. Makes your life a lot easier if all of a sudden you get a lot of first ball kill side outs just crushed to the floor out of the middle. United States trailing by 4. Vizotto will get a swing, and that ball out of bounds. Brazilians talking about a touch. None called. Impossible to tell. That ball changed direction a little bit. Might have been off Vizzotto, but there's the first and second referee and 4 linesmen, and none of them saw a touch. And that ball was just out of bounds. Brazil with a commanding lead right now. The chances are about 9 out of 10 that Brazil's going to win this second set, but the United States got to find some rhythm at the offensive end. Max Holt again, and that ball out of bounds, so Max Holt back-to-back kills. Magatutia. To Vizzotto, who stuffed straight down by Holt. Jared Magatutia has done a pretty good job solidifying here that position. He's come in, passed a couple of balls, served okay. Really good block by Max Holt. Magatutia, 2 meters 5 centimeters, about 6'9". The 26-year-old who played his college volleyball at UCLA for the legendary Al Skates, who won 19 NCAA championships. Al Skates, a mentor to American head coach John Spera, and Al Skates here helping to do some scouting sitting along the end line. Timeout called by Brazil. Magatutia's got to keep this serve in. 22-20, the Americans trailing. Boy, very close to a foot fault. Not only does he keep it in, that looked like a foot fault. And Brazil is going to challenge. We're going to have a look at it. I think this is a good challenge. When I saw it the first time, I thought that Garrett Magatutia, you can't tell from there. I mean, that's 50 meters away. Wait until we see the video evidence. Lucas thought he saw the same thing. This is a huge play, and I think Brazil has got a good case here. Magatutia was right at the line, and it was not a foot fault. Wow, very, very close, but worth a challenge. And now it's 22-21. If I'm Magatutia, I back up a little bit. Back up. That was just too close. And that was a foot fault. That is, I'll tell you, Magatutia had a pretty good 4 or 5 minutes here, but that is unforgivable. You've just escaped, and that is so close. And now John Spera, the American head coach, is challenged. And that was a... Did he contact the line? Above the line, but I didn't see contact with the line. Interesting. But a foot fault has been called. But if you're Garrett Magatutia, you can't even bring that into play. You got to back up 6 inches, a foot. You've gotten to 22-21. Bruno will serve. And that ball hit out of bounds. Boy, this has been a really interesting match. There have been a lot of very, very close calls. And a rare spiking error this time by Taylor Sander. The scoreboard in the arena is incorrect. It is 24-21. Anderson off the block. Good cover by Shoji. A little bit of a traffic accident there. and we have the score correct. It's wrong in the building, so there's some real confusion on the part of the audience. There's no confusion on the part of either team. They're changing sides. We got it right. So the United States and Brazil are now tied at a set apiece. Brazil takes the second set 25-21. The gold medal at stake, $1 million first prize here at the World League Finals.